Hello everyone, it's me Alicia. For this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a necklace using the materials from the dollar bead box and the dollar bead bag. And again, this is July's box 2017. So, all of the beads that I'm using are from the dollar bead bag and box. The Czech fire polish beads are all from the bag. The pink fuchsia bicones, those are from the box. And the Chinese silk cord is from the box. The only thing that I'm using that is mine, and that everybody that makes jewelry and watches my videos has, is monofilament. This is the only thing that's mine that I'm using to make this. So I'm going to show you how to make this one first, which is the easiest, and then this one here, which is a little bit more difficult. It's not bad at all. And this one here. I have to take this one apart because I only had enough beads to make one, and I wanted to show you guys what it looks like. So I just put it together. I'll take it apart and remake it with new monofilaments, because this monofilament is beaten up a lot because I've been making things and taking it apart and using the same piece over and over. Okay, so we're going to be making two of these because I wanted this necklace to be graduated. So I want it to be a small bead, a medium, a large. This bead again will be here, and then this bead will be over here. So it's going to be big in the middle and smaller on the sides. And I wanted to show you guys, I am just about using all of the beads from the dollar bead box and bag to make this. These are the only beads that I have left over. Isn't that funny? And believe it or not, I've probably made like 12 different beaded beads, but I wanted to have the colors distributed nicely between the beads, so I also want to have the graduated in size, so it's taken me a while to figure out how to get the graduated beads and how to do the beads with the different colors and different sizes to make it work. But I'm really happy, and I did well, and this is only beads I have left over, and I will use them, you know, for something one day. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you the list of materials. Here's the list of materials you will need to make the beaded bead necklace. You will need to cut 4 3-foot pieces of either 8-pound or 10-pound monofilament to make these two sizes here. And again, you'll have to cut 4 pieces because there's going to be 4 beads. So you need to cut 4 pieces, and they all need to be 3 feet long. You're also going to need to cut 3.5 feet of 8-pound or 10-pound monofilament for the large beaded bead, the one that was here that I already took apart. You will need 3.5 feet of monofilament to make the very big one. You will also need 3mm Czech fire polish beads in white, which are these right here, which come in the dollar bead bag. You also need 4mm Czech fire polish beads, and I used 3 colors from the dollar bead bag. I used this blue, yellow, and I also used the silver. You're also going to need 4mm MC bicones, the fuchsia color. So these right here, the pink ones, you will need those also. And by the way, we're going to use every single one of them. There's 24 in a pack. You're going to need all 24 of them. You're also going to need the Chinese silk cord, and whenever I work with monofilament, I also like to use tweezers, and I also have a bead all here because that helps a lot. Okay, so this is the list of materials. Remember, I always put the list down there in the description bar so you could see everything, and if you were confused by a measurement here, you'll be able to see it all down there in the description bar. Okay? So this is the bead we're going to make first. We start off with 5 yellow beads, and then we pick up the blues and the silver, and we do half the bead, and then we do the other half, and then we go back through and we embellish it with the white seed beads. So I have my monofilament here, and I'm going to pick up my 5 yellow 4mm beads. There's 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm going to crisscross my ends through the 5th bead, put my ends together, and bring this bead down to the center like that. Okay, now on my right string I'm going to pick up a blue bead, a silver, and a blue, and I'm going to crisscross my ends through this blue bead and bring it down. So now I have this here. I'm going to take this string that's facing the yellow beads and I'm going to pass through the next yellow bead, just like that. Okay? And then with the string that's coming out the blue bead, I'm going to pick up one silver and one blue, 4mm. Now all the blue, yellow, and silver are 4mm, the white are 3, so those are smaller, okay? And the white ones, the 3mm, we'll put those on last. So I'm crisscrossing through this blue bead, bringing it down. I now have this. I'm going to take this string and pass through the next one. Okay, so right here, just like that. That's what it looks like. With the string that's coming out of the blue bead, I'm going to pick up a silver and a blue. And something I forgot to mention because I did it before I started filming. Whenever you work with monofilament, you always want to, before you start, pull the monofilament between your fingers, hold it like this between your fingers, and pull it fast between your fingers. What it's doing is it's getting hot, you'll feel the heat, and it's heating up the monofilament and it's making it straight. See how straight my monofilament is? See? Just a slight curve there at the end, and that's perfectly fine. It gets the curls out of it, so it's easier to work with. Okay, so I just passed through that bead there. I'm going to take my string that's right here facing the yellow beads, and I'm going to pass through the next yellow bead, just like that. The string that's coming out of the blue bead, I'm going to do the same thing, repeating the same thing over and over, picking up a silver, picking up a blue, and crisscrossing my ends through the blue bead. Just like this. And I'm going to take this string, and I have to reposition it because I have 5 yellow, 5 blue, I have 4 silver, so I need a 5th silver. So I'm going to take the string, I'm exiting out of this blue one, I'm going to pass through the yellow one that's right next to that, and then I'm going to pass through this blue one that's right next to my yellow bead. Just like this. Pull that through, and now you should have what looks like this, okay? So now I'm going to take both of my strings, pick up the silver bead, crisscross through that, and now we have this. Okay, so this silver is going to be the center, and if you look at this, it's even, okay? The yellow and the silver is even, but when I go to add in the white beads later on, it makes that middle of the bead flare out, and it has this really neat shape to it. It's not straight, it's flared in the middle because of the white 3mm beads. Okay, but right now it's even all the way around. It's kind of like a tube. Okay, so now I'm going to see if one of my strings are longer, because sometimes it is, and they're not, they're the same. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. I'm right-handed, so with my right hand I'm going to pick up a blue bead and a yellow, slide that down, then I'm going to pick up a blue bead, that's my cross through bead. Okay, just like that, and bring that down. So I just brought these 3 down, and it looks like that. So now we're copying this side onto the other half of the silver beads. Okay, so I'm taking this string that's in the center of my bead, and I'm passing through the next silver bead, just like that. Okay, and then this string that's over here by this one yellow seed bead, or not seed bead, czech fire posh bead, I'm going to take this string, pick up another yellow and a blue, and I'm going to crisscross both ends through the blue bead, bring that down, and I now have this. Okay, so now I'm going to take this string that's by the silver, and I'm going to reposition it through the next silver bead, just like that. And again, this string that's up here by these two yellow beads, I'm going to take that one, pick up one yellow and one blue, and crisscross my ends through that bead. Bring it down. We should now have this. Okay, so I'm going to take this string here that's on the center of my bead by the silver ones, pass through the next one. Okay, just like that. Take this one here that's by the yellow beads, pick up one yellow and one blue, and crisscross through the blue bead and bring that down. Okay, bring it down. We now have this. I'm going to take this string that's right here by the silver, and I'm going to pass through the next silver bead, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it and take the same string that we just passed through with that silver bead there, and I'm going to pass through this blue one, just like that. Now take this string that's by the yellow bead, and it's okay if it's getting loose because we'll tighten it back up. Taking the string by the yellow bead, I'm picking up another yellow bead, which will be my fifth one. I already have 4 there, and I'm going to pass through this blue bead. Okay, pulling this through, we now have this. So now I am going to pull this tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this string here. Okay, in which direction was I going? I forgot. Okay, I'm going in this direction. So I'm going to take my string and I'm going to pass through all of these yellow beads, and we're just going to cinch the end closed, because right now it's open. Well, that side's closed. See how it's open? So I'm going to pass through all 5 of these on the bottom, bringing them all together. Okay, I went through all 5 of them. See when I pull it tight, how close to get? Now I'm going to go to the center. And this here could be a little tricky. I have my 5 3mm beads left, okay? I am exiting, oops, I forgot. I'm exiting out of this blue bead, okay? And I need to reposition my string to go out one of the silvers. Does not matter which one you go through. Go through any one that you want. Just make sure that it's right next to the bead that you're exiting out of, okay? So just like that. Now I'm going to pick up my 3mm, exiting out of this silver. I'm going to go in with my string through the next silver bead. I now have this, okay? And see how it's not sitting right? You want to pull it tight. Okay, pull it really tight, like that. Now it's sitting properly. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up another 3mm, exiting out of this bead. I'm going to pass to the next one, filling in this gap. Just like that. And this makes the middle flare out, so it's not a tube shape. Right now it's a tube shape, but when I put those white beads in there, it makes the middle flare out. It makes it look better. Okay, so I have my white bead, and I'm passing through the next silver one there, popping that in place. Now the very last one we put in is going to be a little difficult, because the first one that we put in is going to be in the way. Okay, so I just put another one in, and here it is. I'm putting the last one in, and this is the one that's going to be a little difficult, because the first one, which is right there, is in our way. So what you want to do is pass through the silver bead, okay, and if it feels like it's clogged, you want to take this white bead with your nail and lift it up out of the way. Okay, that worked really good that time. Okay, so you're just passing through the silver bead. Now pull that white bead into place. Okay, this one here, it's not centered very good, so I'll just straighten it out. I gotta make sure I'm pulling it in the right direction. Okay, looks good now. So I am exiting out of the silver bead, and I need to go to the end. I have my string right here. I'm exiting out of this silver bead, so I need to come over here because I'm going to tie knots on this side with this one, but there's no string over here, so I'm going to take this one and get it to this other side so I'm able to tie my knots. And in order to do this, what I do, this bead is blocking the blue hole, so I take my string, I go around that 3mm bead, I pull my string. Okay, what it does is it pulls that white bead away from the 4mm that I have to pass through, and it just makes a gap so I can go through it. Now I gotta make sure that I'm not wrapped around it still. Okay, right there. You want to come straight out the silver bead into that. You don't want to wrap around that when you go to, finish it. And then I'm just going to go through one of these yellow beads. Okay, so there we are. And I could probably come back in here after all my knots are tied and straighten these up. Yeah, that's what I'll do. After all my knots are tied, I'll come back in and straighten the white ones up. So now we're ready to tie knots. And it's pretty simple. This one here is a little loose right now, so I'm going to pass through another bead. Okay, and now I'm ready to tie knots, and this is where you're going to need your tweezers. You can try to go in from the inside and come out under that thread or the string that's going that way. We want to catch that string and tie a knot on it. Now if you can't get in from going this direction, you will have to go through this side. Okay, and if you're lucky, like I am, it'll come up to the middle. But if it doesn't, if you can only get it on the inside, take your tweezers, put them in there, and grab it out. Okay, so I have a loop here, and my cat is at the door right now. He's wanting in. I'll go get him after I tie this. Okay, so I have my loop here. I'm going to pass my string through my loop 2 times, just like this. Okay, I want my knot to fall right here, so I'm going to pull this down and pull that tight. And then I'm going to go through the next bead, just like that, and tie another knot. Make a loop, go through it twice, and pull that down, and through the next bead. Okay, so keep going. I tie a knot between every bead, okay? And then once you tie your last knot, go down through this blue bead. You might go through the next one and come out here, and if you do, snip your string off. Or what will happen to you, you'll go through just one of these, then you'll come out through the center here. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to fetch your string with your tweezers, and you want to either pass through this one and trim it, or just trim it right after you come out of this bead. Okay, so keep going, tying 1/2 knots. Make sure you do knots on both sides, and you'll have to make 2 of these. Okay, and then once you have 2 of these, then we're ready to make this bead here, which is what I'm going to show you how to do next. We are now going to make this beaded bead, and I really love how this one turned out. It's a really nice round shape. The colors are cool, using different shapes, the bicone and the faceted round. It's really neat. Okay, so we're going to start making the silver part first, the hole, just like the first bead we did. So I'm going to pick up 5 silver, 4mm. These are all 4mm beads. We're not using any of the 3mm for this, just the 4. Okay, so there's 5. I'm going to take the 5th one and I'm going to crisscross my ends through the 5th bead. Put your ends together, make sure they are even, and bring that 5th bead down to the very center till you have what looks like flour. Okay? And now I'm going to take and pick up a blue and 2 yellow. Slide that down, that's 3 beads right there. I'm going to pick up another blue, so actually picking up 4 beads, 1 blue, 2 yellow, and 1 blue, crisscrossing through the 4th bead added. We now have this. I'm going to take my string that's Xing out of the blue bead right here, and I'm going to pass through the next silver bead that's over here, okay? Just like that. With the string that's next to the yellow beads, this one here, I'm going to pick up 2 yellow beads. And then I'm going to pick up a blue bead. So I'm picking up 3, and we're crisscrossing both ends through that blue bead. So we now have this. So now I'm going to take this string that's next to the silver and pass through the next silver bead. Just like that. Okay, so we now have this. I'm going to take the string that's Xing out of the blue, pick up 2 yellows, pick up a blue, crisscross my ends, and bring this down. Okay, so we now have this. So I have to take this string that's right here next to the silver beads, Xing out of the blue bead, and pass through the next silver. So it looks like this. Okay? The string that's coming out of the blue bead, I want to pick up 2 yellows, and then a blue. So picking up 3 beads, crisscrossing my ends through the blue bead, bringing it down. I now have this, okay? So you should have 4 groups of 2 yellow beads. And you should have 5 blue beads and 5 silver beads, just like that. So I have this string that's Xing out of the blue bead next to the silver. I'm going to take this string, pass through my last silver bead right here, pull that through, and then I have to pass through this blue bead right here so that both of my ends are exiting out of the blue beads like this. Now I'm going to take my string, pick up 2 yellows, and I'm going to crisscross my ends through the second yellow bead and bring that down just like this, okay? Now I have this string right here and actually if I just pull this snug and hold on to the bead, see that string there that's going up? The one that's going up and it's not pointing at anything, that's the one we pick up beads with. This one here that's pointing down, this is the string that we have to pass through beads that we already have. So it's pointing down, which means that I have to go in through my next yellow bead right there, okay? So now both of them are pointing up. So now what I'm going to do is pick up 1 that's blue, 1 silver, and 1 blue. And I'm going to crisscross my ends through the blue bead. Bring that down. So I now have this, and I just made another circle of beads right there, a circle of 5. So pulling this tight, do you see how this string here is going down? Again, that means that I have to pass through the next bead, and I'll show you again. I just passed through one there. Again, letting go. See how this is pointing down? That means I have to pass through the next yellow bead. So I'm passing through 2 yellows. Okay, so pulling this snug, you can see how they're both pointing up, which means it's time to pick up more beads. So this string right here that's next to the silver, I'm going to take that one, pick up a silver bead, pick up a blue, and crisscross my ends through the blue bead. Bringing it down, we have this. So again, I'm going to take this string, and I have to pass through these two yellow ones. Okay, so we have 3 beads here. I need a total of 5. So the string again that's next to the silver bead, I'm going to pick up 1 silver, 1 blue, and crisscross through the blue bead. Bringing this down, I now have to take this string again, it's pointing down, and pass through these 2 yellow beads like that. Okay, so now I have 3 there. So again, the string that's exiting right beside the silver bead, you want to take that one, pick up 1 silver bead, 1 blue bead, and cross through the blue bead. Just like this. Bring this down. Okay, so now I'm ready to close this up. I'm going to take this one that's pointing down towards all the beads. This one's pointing to nowhere. That's our pickup string. This is our passing through string. So the one that's pointing down next to the yellows, I'm going to pass through these 2 yellow beads. Okay, and then I'm going to pass up through the bottom of this blue bead. Okay, and then I have to pick up my last silver bead and crisscross my ends through that. Bringing this down, we're going to fill in this gap. Pull this very tight, okay? So now we have this. There's holes in it, and we're going to fill the holes with the bicones. So you might want to check and see if one of your strings is longer, and this one right here is longer. So I'm just going to go around and cinch all of these together. They're all separated. They're not together, okay? This side's all together, but this side's not. So I'm just going to go around with the longer string and pass through all of the beads, and I'm going to exit out the one that I started at. Okay, so through those there, and then through this one right here. This is my start bead. Pass through there. Okay, I'm going to take my other end, pull that, pull both ends tight. We now have this. Looks good. I'm going to take this string, pass down through 1 blue bead. Make sure you don't catch that one string right there, which I actually did. Okay. Okay, passing through there, not to catch that string that's going through the yellow beads, just like that. I'm going to take my other string, and I have to reposition this down through 3 beads. So this one over here, I'm going to go through this blue, okay, through the yellow that's on the left, and then down through this blue. That. I'm going to go back real quick and just pull these tight. Okay, so now I have this. So now I'm going to start filling in. So a little recap, we crisscrossed our strings through this bead here. I took the longer one, I went around, I reinforced this, I brought the beads close together. I took the string that was exiting here, and I went through this one blue bead, so it's exiting at the bottom. Then I took the one on the left side, I went through this blue bead, through the yellow bead on the left, and then I came down through that blue bead. So this one's ready, and this one is ready to pick up beads. So holding it like this, I'm going to pick up a bicone. I'm coming out the bottom. I'm going to pass through the next blue bead at the top of the bead. Just like this, and pull that through. Don't pull it real tight because it will warp the bead. You just want it to sit in that hole, okay? Picking up another one, I'm exiting out the bottom of that one. I'm going to go into the top of the next blue one, which makes me exit out the bottom, and I'm ready to pick up the next bead. Okay? Picking up my next pink, exiting out the bottom of there. I'm passing to the top of this one. Pull that snug just a little bit. Look from the top, it looks great. Okay, I have two more to do on this side. Picking up another pink, I have to pass down through the next blue bead, just right here. Okay, gotta get another one. I have to fill this hole. This is my last one. There's 5 on one side and there's going to be 5 on the other side. Exiting out of this bead, I have to go down through this blue bead. Okay, just like that. So now I'm going to leave this string and I'm going to go to the other one now. But first I have to see why the dog is barking. So before I go to the bottom one to fill in, I think I'm going to go back to this one and pass through these beads here and reposition myself up here so I could tie knots. So right now, we just picked up that pink bead. We're exiting out of this blue one. I have to take this string and pass through these yellow beads. Now if you pull this really tight, it will be difficult to pass through these beads. And if it is, I recommend to take it apart and start over, because it's going to be a pain in the neck to tie knots also. Okay. Now passing through this bead, if I can, I would like to pass through this silver one too. Let's see. Oh, I'm very close to passing through the silver one. Yes, there we go. Okay. So I'm coming out the bottom of this bead. I went through these two yellow, through this blue, and through the silver. Okay? That's where I want to be. Now I'm repositioned so I could tie knots through the silver beads. But before I tie knots, I need to finish filling it in. So I'm going to go down to my bottom string here, and I'm going to fill this in. So picking up one bicone, I'm exiting out the bottom of that blue bead. I'm going to come over here and pass through the top of this blue bead and fill that hole in. Okay. Picking up another bicone, pass to the top of the next blue bead, turning, picking up another, pass to the top of the blue bead here, turning, picking up another bicone, passing to the top of the next blue bead, okay, and I have one more right here. Pass to the top of the blue bead, bring it on through, just like that. I now have to go through one of these silver beads. Does not matter which one, it really doesn't. Okay, and now I have to tie my half hitch knots. So I'm going to tie with this one here. So this one's ready to tie knots, and so is this one. So I have to take my string, and just like with tying these beads, you want to pass it either through the middle and come out, which is kind of tricky, or this way. Okay, so there's a string that's going through those silver beads that direction. I'm going to catch it. Now this one's going to fuss with me, so when I pass under that string, it goes down there inside. So that's what the tweezers are for. Grab that string, pull it up, make a loop, and pass through that loop 2 times. Okay, and right here is where I will tie my knot and bring that knot on down. Pass through the next silver bead, and tie another knot. Okay, now I already showed you how to tie knots in this one, so I'm going to stop here. So go ahead and tie half-hitch knots between every one of these beads. There's a knot there, so after you tie a knot here, pass down through the blue one, and I like to go through the yellow ones. I go through maybe 4 yellow ones and I trim it off, and then I go over here and I do the same thing. Tie my knots in between the silver beads, pass through a blue one, pass through a few yellow ones and trim it off, and then you'll have 2 of these beads. Okay, so when you're done with both of these and you did these 2, we're now ready to make the big one for the middle, and the middle one is really cool. Okay, so let's get ready to make the big one now. So now we're going to make the big bead, and the big bead, just like the other ones, we start with the hole, but this time the hole is going to be 8 seed beads around, not 5, and it's going to be 3mm beads. Okay, so we're going to start by using the 3mm. There's 3, 4, 5, slide those down, I need 8, 6, 7, 8. Double check. Okay, there's my 8 beads. So I'm going to take and crisscross my ends at the 8th bead. Put the ends together and bring this bead down to the center. So we have a circle of 8 3mm beads. Okay. Now this bead has it all. It uses every color, which if you look at these here, I didn't have enough pink to put into these 2, okay? And also, these don't have any white in them. So this bead is using every single color. Okay? So I have my, sorry about that. I have my circle of 8 beads. Now what I'm going to do, with my right string, I'm going to pick up 1 white, 1 blue, 1 white, and I'm going to crisscross my ends through the white. I really like making this one. It's a very fun bead to make. Okay, so I have that there. I'm going to take the string that's exiting towards the center of my hole there, and I'm going to pass through the next white bead. Now I have this. Okay, now I'm going to take the string that's exiting beside the blue bead, and I'm going to pick up 1 silver and 1 white bead, and I'm going to crisscross my ends through the white. Okay, and then I'm going to take this string right here that's coming out the white bead, and I'm going to go through the next white bead in the circle, just like that. And now I'm going to take this string here that's by the silver bead, pick up a blue and then a white, and I'm going to crisscross through the white bead. And by the way, I did not tell you how many beads you need to make each bead, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put all that information down there in the description box, because it is a lot to talk about. Okay? So if you don't see that down there, it's probably because I forgot about it, so if you ask me in the comments, I will definitely go and do that for you. Okay? So I just crisscrossed that bead. I'm now going to take my string again and pass through the next bead in the circle, and then I'm taking the string, there's another animal here, the string that's by my blue bead, I'm going to pick up a silver and a white bead and crisscross through the white bead. just like this, and let's see, what direction is this one going? Probably best this direction. See how when I go up, see how this end's curling up and this one's curling down? And then when I turn it this way, they're all curling up. So it means it wants to go in that direction. You do want to let it do its own thing when you first start making the bead, because if you fight and you go in the other direction, it's gonna fight back. Okay, now I have to pick up with the string that's coming out the silver bead there, a blue. It's not actually coming out the silver, it's just next to it. I picked up a blue and a white. Now I'm crisscrossing my ends through this white bead. Okay, and I have to pass through the next white bead in this circle. Oops. Okay, just like that. And then this string over here that's by the blue, I have to pick up a silver and a white and crisscross through the white. Bring that down. I now have this. I'm going to take the string that's by the circle and pass through the next white bead. Just like that. And again, these are 3 millimeters. 4 millimeters, 4 millimeters, and those are 4. Okay? Just like this. I'm going to take the string that's exiting out near the silver bead, and I'm going to pick up one blue and one white, and I'm going to cross through the white bead and bring this down. And then I'm going to take this string right here that's exiting out the white bead, and I'm going to pass through the next white bead right here, and I'm also going to pass through the one that's beside that, because it is now time to step up. So I will have to bend this just like that, pull it through like that, and now I have to get through this bead here. Okay, just like that. So now you can see I have 3 silver, okay, and 4 blue. I need a total of 4 silver. So that's the bead I have to pick up now. So I'm going to pick up just one bead, and it's going to be the silver one. I'm going to crisscross both ends through that bead and bring it down. Okay, so now we're going to make the center of this bead. So coming out the silver, I'm going to, with my right hand, pick up 3 silver beads and cross through the third one. Bringing this down, I now have this. Okay, I'm going to take my string and pass through the next blue bead, the string that's right there. Okay, this one here is leading to nowhere. That's our pickup string, just like our other bead. Okay, and this one that was going down there, that's our pass-through string. Okay, so now we're ready to pick up. So with this string right here that's coming out the silver, I'm going to pick up one blue, one silver, and crisscross my ends through that silver bead. Pull it up tight, and we now have this. Again, take this string here, it's going down, and this one's leading to nowhere, and this one here means I have to pass through an already existing beads. Okay, so I went through there like that. Now I'm going to take this one, pick up 2 silver, and cross through the second one. Bring that down. I now have this. Exiting out this silver bead, I'm going to pass through the blue one. Okay, just like that. This string here is our pickup string, so I'm going to pick up one blue, one silver, and cross. So we're going to do this all the way around, okay, till we get to the close. And then we're going to go back to our white beads. So taking this string that's on the inside, passing through the silver bead, And then this one here that's leading to nowhere is our pickup string. So pick up 2 silver, cross through the second one, bring that down, just like this. Take this one again, our pass through string, pass through the next bead. Okay, this string that's up here that's coming out the silver, our pickup string, I'm going to pick up 1 blue bead and also 1 silver and crisscross through the silver bead. Now I have this. I'm going to take this string right here and pass through the next silver. Okay, this is our pickup string on the outside, so I'm going to pick up our last 2 silver, crisscross through the second one, bring that down. We're now here at the close of this row, so this string right here that's pointing down into our other beads, I'm going to take it and pass through the blue bead, and then I'm going to go up through this bead, the silver one right there. So I now have what looks like this. Okay, so I have to close this up, and how do I know which bead I need to use? Well, it's going to be a blue one, because if you go around and you look at the rest of the pattern, it's supposed to be blue. So I'm going to pick up this blue one, crisscross my ends through this bead, and bring it on down. Okay, pull this tight. So this is what we have now. And I want to point out to you, this bead is going to be a round bead. It has large holes, which is cool because you can string this onto other things. You just don't have to use this cord. You can use a beaded strand, like a whole bunch of seed beads, like maybe 6 strands of seed beads. This would pass over that. And you can put it over a large chain because the hole's so big, it has several things you could do with it. Now, something I really wanted to tell you guys is I'm using 3mm beads right here, okay, for the hole. If I were to use 4mm beads for this entire bead, it would be a tube shape. It would not be round. It would be a tube. The 3mm beads are smaller at the ends, so it's making the sides cinch in close together. And that's how the bead is becoming round. Isn't that cool? Okay, so now we're ready to go back to the white. And I'm going to see if my ends are the same length, and they're not. This one is longer. So I'm going to take the longer one, and I'm going to pick up 3 white 3mm beads. These beads right here, I'm going to take those at the very end and embellish over top of the silver beads with them and the blue beads, okay? So I picked up 3 with my longer string. I'm crisscrossing through the third one and bringing this down. So we are continuing this weave, okay? So here I am. This is my nowhere string that I pick beads up with, and this string here is exiting in here, and it's telling me that I need to go through this silver bead, just like that. Okay, through there. Again, with this string here that's coming out the white beads, I need to pick up 2 white beads and crisscross through the second one. Bring that down. Now I'm here. Again, take this string and pass through the next bead, the blue one. Now this string that's coming out the white, I have to pick up 2 more white seed beads. 1, 2, and cross to the second. Bring that down. Okay, this is what we've done so far. It's looking good. Take this string right here and pass through the silver bead. Okay. Take the string that's coming out of the white beads and pick up 2 more whites, the 3mm, and cross at the second one. Bring that down, pull it snug every once in a while. Okay, now I have this. I'm going to take the string here and pass through these beads, just like that. Now take the one coming out of the white and pick up 2 white. Crisscross through this bead. Again, I have to take the string that's on the inside and reposition it. Now take my string that's coming out the white again and pick up 2 white. Crisscross through the second white bead. Just like this, I'm going to take this string and pass through the blue bead, just a blue one. Okay. The string that's coming out the white, again, I'm going to pick up more white, 3 millimeters, and crisscross through the second one. I'm picking up 2, crossing through the second, bringing it down, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, bringing those 2 beads down just like that. I'm now here at the close. So I'm going to take this string that's by the silver, okay, and I'm going to pass through the silver bead and go up through the white bead, just like that. I'm going to pick up 1 3 millimeter white bead and crisscross my ends through it, just like that. Okay, now one of these ends are probably going to be longer. Let's see which one it is. Okay, this one here is longer. Now I'm going to need that longer one to go down through the white, all through these, and then down through to this end. So I want to take the shorter string. Taking the shorter one, I'm going to pass through all 8 of these, and if you hold it like this and make the beads line up, you could pass through 3 at one time. Okay, again, I'll do that again. Line them up. And pass through as many as you can at one time. There's 3 again, okay? Now I just have to go through these 2. I want to come back out the same bead where I started, okay? So it looks like nothing ever happened. So here I am at the start, right there, okay? That looks really good. And actually, this bead looks great just by itself. If you wanted to, you don't have to embellish it. But I'm going to go further and embellish it, because this is my centerpiece and I want to have all the colors in this one. Okay, so I'm going to go back and see what the length is like. Okay, this one here is a lot longer now. So I'm going to take the long string, which is the one I left behind earlier, and I'm going to pass down through this bead. I'm exiting out of this one, so I want to go down the bead. It's right beside me. Just that one bead. Okay. And then I have to go, let's see which way. I'll go this way. I'm going to go through the silver bead. Okay. And then I'm going to go down through this bead. Now we are ready to add beads. And before I do, I need to make sure that this is not loosening up on me. Tighten that, and tighten this. Okay, so again, both strings were exiting out of this one bead. I took the string, passed through the white bead, passed through the silver one, going in that direction, and then I came down through this silver one. Now I'm ready to embellish it. So right here where the blues are at, I decided that I want the yellow in there with the blue beads. So picking up a yellow, exiting out the bottom of this one, I'm going to go through the top of this bead. Okay, and it sits on there just like that. Turning it, I'm now at the silver ones. I picked up my pink one. I'm going to go down through this bead. So there are the beads that are vertical, which are these ones here that we're passing through, and then there's the ones that are horizontal. I'm going through the vertical ones. Okay, just like that. Again, turn it. Pick up another bead. I came down that one. I'm going to pass through this one. Come out. Oops, I picked up the wrong color. Wasn't paying attention. It's supposed to be yellow. Okay. Got my yellow one. I'm going to pass through this bead here. Bring that down. And there we go. Isn't that cute? It's so cute. I love it. Okay. Coming out the bottom of this one, we're at the silver. That means pink. So now I'm going to go through the top of this one. And if it wants to go into the next one, just push that bead inward and it'll pass through. Okay, there's our pink. Now I have to do yellow. I have to pass down to the top of this one. Turning it, I have to do another pink now. Going down to the top. Now it's time for yellow. Coming out of that bead, I have to go again to the top of this one. Okay, and I have one more left, my pink. And I'm going to close this one up just like I have been. Pass to the top. Pull that snug. And this is what it looks like from the side view. It looks good from the side too. This side is opening up, so I will tighten that up better. But this is the closed side. Okay? So I have all my beads on. And now I have to reposition to this end so I can tie knots. So I'm going to take my string, pass through the silver bead, pass through this white one, okay, and then through this bead right here in a circle. Okay, so pulling it tight, this is what it looks like. It looks so good. So now all we have to do is tie half hitch knots, and I've already shown you guys how to do it. You're just going to want to tie them up here again at the hole because they're not seen as much. And I'll do it one more time. Take the string, pass underneath. You want to grab that thread, come up to the center. If you can't get up, use your tweezers. Okay. Make a loop and pass through the loop twice. Bring that knot down. Pull tight. Pass through the next bead. And tie another knot. And I go all the way around on this if I have enough string, okay? And you want to do the same thing over here. You want to make sure that you pull this really tight before you tie your half hitch knots. Go all the way around. If you have extra string, after you tie your knots, you want to go back into this bead and follow your old thread path. Never cut your string at a knot because it will come undone. Okay, so once you have all the knots tied, of course you're going to cut the string off, and then you're ready to string your beads. And if you're a bead lover, beaded beads are just the ultimate. You know, a bead made out of beads. Seriously? It's funny. Okay, and here is our necklace. That is so cute, and it just screams summertime for me. I love all the bright colors. It's very summer inspired. It's really pretty. And this might also be able to wear as a wrap bracelet if you want. And if you want, what you could do is tie knots in between the bead so that the orange shows in between. That would also be cute. you would just tie an overhand knot in between each bead. But that's up to you. If you like playing with them, sliding them up and down, that's up to you, how you want to do it, okay? So, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and like me on Facebook. And don't forget to share pictures of the jewelry we've made from my videos on my Facebook page, and follow me on Pinterest. Thanks for watching.